Manny. I know I'm always posting something that has to do with ribbon mics, but to those that don't know, I make my living hopefully as a producer, engineer. I've been doing it for about 30 years, but I have a passion for ribbon mics, and I'm actually starting my own ribbon mic company. To give you a little of my thought process is, it's kind of like, when they say it used to be some police officers, you would have to work, a few years in a prison before you'd get on the street to have a little bit of experience. And I kind of decided if I'm going to walk the walk and talk the talk about ribbons, I should be as close as I can to an expert on ribbon mics. So at this point, I could say in my life of working on ribbons, I've worked on almost all the brands, even some of the new boutique ones that are out there. And because of my skill set of working with ribbon mics, especially through YouTube and my Instagram, I try to offer people the possibilities of buying mics that cost between less than $100 up to a few $100s. And hey, brother, how you doing? I already got my Topo Chico ready to go. Um, so I try to get my friends to, and I mean this in a way like I'm not a repair shop, but all my friends that have had Bayer 160s, 130s, 260s, RCA 77s, 44s, Coles 4038s, really, really super rare um, ribbons. I've actually worked on most of them. And in doing that, it's given me a skill set so I can offer this to people. Now, I left my information in the description if you wanted to contact me on my email. And what I do is I have people go out and buy some of their favorite mics that are affordable, and they send them to me to my P.O. box, and I can upgrade them with a brand new ribbon, which absolutely adds about 3 to 4 dBs of quality. And the difference between $100 mic and let's say a $1,400 ribbon is not only in the consistency in the ribbons and the gaps, but the skill set of installing the ribbons. A lot of these microphones are meant to be just shipped out, you know, I hope they arrive safely wherever they're going, and then the people use them, and they're usually novice or just maybe have never used a ribbon for the first time, so you don't really know what you're hearing except you like it. That being said, to producers that go to Sunset Sound, what's up, Shannon? People that go to like Sunset Sound and they can just reach into a cabinet and grab some 77s, grab the latest Royers, grab the whole, run the garden of AEA microphones. They now have a plethora and options of having great ribbon mics, and you hear them talk about it. So then when you buy one of these mics, you're like, that's okay, but it's not blowing my mind. Of course it's not. The skill set and the work they put into AEA to install the ribbons. So today we have these Bumblebees. Now, yesterday on my Instagram, I did this one live. And I did this one actually a week earlier. And what happened is that my socket set were the wrong, did not work on these, which made me think I think I had metric, and these are, I think I have SAE, which were for these ones. But whatever the case was, I was not sure of the origin of these mics, but they're actually made in Europe. And I do have to say that these are these are kits. You can buy them and you make them yourself, but I'm pretty positive the transducer comes in a separate package and you just solder everything together. And I guess you could be proud by putting in, literally saying you made a ribbon mic. So the RM5, which I can't take apart now because I've already sealed it up and I've already changed the ribbon, and I did that yesterday live. That was on Instagram, but I'm going live on YouTube to do the Bumblebee RM6. So this is an RM5, and the artist who had me wrote that. I didn't write that. And these are actually etched in the RM6. So obviously this is a 1, 2, 3, 4. I have no idea anything about that. This one had a 2-inch magnet with a 4.5 gap in the ribbon, and I put in a 2.5 in that. These ones, as much as they look the same, I mean, they're identical. This one has a smaller magnets. These are 2 1-inch magnets, and the gap is 4 millimeters. So the other day when I was going to use this one, I actually had already cut a ribbon for this. Hopefully I won't have to cut another one. Let's see, Genevieve. He was watching this video. In the meantime, my ex called me and said that he dropped a new 16 iPhone. Well, I don't know what that is. Right? Um, but so yeah, so these, they look identical, but once again, this has two 1-inch magnets. This has two 2-inch magnets. The ribbon is longer, obviously 2 inches. The ribbon is wider, 4.5. These ribbons are shorter. This is two 1-inch magnets. The gap is 4 millimeters, not 4.5. Different type of a mic, a different type of a ribbon. Now, size kind of matters sometimes when you get into the real big boy mics. Obviously, you're spending $4,500. That's going to be a big ribbon in there and big magnets. But it doesn't mean that you can't get a huge sound from a small ribbon. So this company that is making these is actually giving you something that's kind of a cool option. And I think sonically they will sound a little bit different. You're not going to match these mics. But what you may get out of this one is a tighter low end, a little bit better mids and highs. And this one's going to be a little bit fuller, probably a little bit darker. But we're going to take apart the RM5 today. Right? Looks like it. But these mics, now you could say they look kind of like Royers, or as that guy put in, their sex toys. Very hurtful sex toys because they're sharp. They're made well. They're really heavy. I thought maybe these are from China, but when I open them up, which I'm going to open this one right now. So this one's already been done. It's already been sealed up. But the main point of today is doing this one. I'm doing it live on the spot. I've not done any prep on this except initially a week ago, I opened it up and took the measurements of the ribbon, and then I come to find out that my ratchet sets did not work on any part of this mic. So when I open this up, this one was not that difficult to undo these. Let's see if I can find them. Undo these top caps, both of them. The other one, the RM5, was incredibly difficult to open up. I almost thought maybe it was threaded, but it wasn't. It just fits in there. These little kind of, they're Allen wrenches kind of screws. You put them in there and you just Allen wrench it up, and that gets you in there. There's two of them. This one wasn't that difficult to take apart. I'm hoping right now, as we're doing this live, I'm not going to run into any problems. There it goes. So yeah, this comes out really smooth. The other one didn't. But once again, since I didn't know anything about this company, when I opened it up, I was a little bit shocked on, there's a lot of work in this mic. Holy smokes, that's a lot. The ribbon is distorted in there, and let me just check it. It's really, really loose in there. That may not be necessarily the part of the ribbon mic company. It just may be like, you can almost see it's like a hammock in there. It may have been used and just stretched out. There's a lot of factors. But anyways, I'm going to replace this ribbon. But when you look at the side over here, that is just a little bit more work than the normal Joe Chinese mic. Even though some of the fatheads do come with a little bit of a, it's almost like a humbucker pickup. This is the negative. You can see that there's a red wire coming down the center, which is for that part. Let me just hold this with my hand. I want this to drop and pull out right in front of you. So that is the positive coming in on this part of the ribbon. And then this is the negative. Now, if I would have opened up the other mic I just did yesterday, it's the identical transducer. So how in the hell did they fit a smaller ribbon within that same transducer? Is that there was an issue with the other one on this plate on the bottom, but what they did, and I guess this is pretty smart on saving money, is that they basically then bolted on this plate, which is modified. These initially were holding the ribbon, these two bolts. And this one is actually just holding the transducer into this top cap. So these two bolts, and in the middle was a 2-inch ribbon. So this is 1 inch. How are you going to do that? They put down a plate, mounted it within those two bolts that would have had the 2-inch ribbon. And this plate now has its own bolts for its transducer. And those are the 1-inch magnets and the smaller ribbons. So identical transducer now, but you have a smaller ribbon. I wouldn't know their thinking and their theories, because that still is a lot of work to have that made so you can fit a smaller ribbon in it, but something this company thought would be really cool. Um, but yeah, it is pretty slacked. If you blow on it, it is really a little bit of a bow in that, which isn't good. So I'm going to be replacing it. And also there's a little bit of distortion in the middle, even though ribbons aren't necessarily a beauty contest. Eventually, if that ribbon is not moving kind of like an accordion in and out in one direction, eventually it will fatigue and eventually tear, or that will kind of twist and catch the ribbon, and then pretty soon the mic's not going to be working the same or get the best. All right. You know what time it is. So I'm live here. I don't want to screw this up. If you guys love what you say, and Shannon, you can't send me coffee money. He always sends me some Topo Chico money. You can, in the thank you of this, you can send me a little dough so I can buy a cup of coffee for your time. If you don't want to, then just purely take this as an educational. Um, hey, what's up, skate girl? Hold on. It's funny, Skate Girl just typed in. One of my favorite, there was a band I recorded, and her name was Kate, but it was K8. I just thought that was the coolest thing ever, Kate. Holy smokes, I'm really going to do, so even talking where I am right now, you can see it move. That is really, 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 really loose. Okay, so now we're going to, I don't want to break this. If I was to break it, I can solder this back, but let's just say I would rather keep the integrity of this mic all in order. I've already cut the ribbon, and like I said, just got to kind of clean this area. I've been cutting ribbons and working on mics, and do your best to kind of keep it clean. I'm going to be using 91% alcohol to hold the ribbon in. I do have 99%, but I'm using that for when I do Coles 438s. It's just a little bit more critical. I need that alcohol to evaporate really fast. And even though this only has like 9% water in it, probably, it's a lot easier for me to use the higher alcohol so it evaporates. And even though that shortens the work time, especially working on coals, it saves me a chance of the ribbon tearing, which will be another day and another story. Okay. Okay, so now, since I took the other one apart yesterday, I'll be honest with you, a little bit of a son of a bitch. When they made these kits, and like I say, now I'm growing more to appreciate what they did here. It's not necessarily like a typical Chinese thing, and they really kind of do care because of all this grounding and the care of having these go around the bolt. Sometimes the Chinese would just put it right over the bolt, and they're like, "Screw you, figure it out," but they didn't. I will say that I'm assuming when they got these kits, you don't put this together. Because even for me, I've been doing ribbons for a lot of years. It is a task. I almost feel like if these ribbons were to blow, that company would probably just send you out another transducer and then you're good to go. Why go through all this? Well, because Manny's going to do it. And so I'm going to already cut a ribbon. My goal is to remove this bolt, that bolt, this bolt, that bolt, and the ribbon should pop out. But these bolts are locked in with these nuts. So what I need to do is take these off, and if it's two things, I don't know if it's threaded through here or they're just fitting a little bit loosey-goosey. So the last one I did, these screws were just tightly fit in there. I don't know if these are the ones that fit. I thought maybe they were Allen wrenches. That is not going to fit. Yeah, well, okay. So they may be threaded, but I won't know until I take this off. So let's get to it. And like I said, if you have Nady RSM4s, RSM5s, MXLs, you can go on Sweetwater, buy them for 99 bucks. Send them to my P.O. box. Before you do that, get my information if you're in the United States, because Sweetwater will definitely send those to you free, and then you would send those to me free. And I would then ship it back to you free. I usually do microphones like this for $250 a microphone, and then I cover the shipping and the insurance of the cost of the mic and the upgrade back to you. So I just try to make it like almost like a win-win. All right, that came out pretty easy. Let's do this one. Easy. Now I'm not going to definitely tighten it with this. I'm just going to do them by hand. But the last one I did was really, I mean, they really do crank these down. And even though like on a Buyer 160, which are mostly brass, it's really soft. You can, if you ruin those screws or strip them out, you're kind of up against some other kind of obstacle to get this done. So what I want to do now is I want to remove those bolts so then I can have access to that front plate. And that's what I meant. I don't think these are meant to be serviced, because they've kind of put them together kind of like, you know, if you buy these kits, I'm sure they sell replacement. Oh, you just saw that? That screw just flew off and just like a meteorite cut through the center of that ribbon. So that being said, these are the obstacles that I have against me right now working on this mic. You saw that. That is cool. Actually, I wish I could see that in slow motion. We need to get that out of there. I've destroyed the ribbon, but that's okay. The ribbon is already destroyed. So once again, even though I worked years on ribbon mics, you cannot predict what's going to happen. A lot of times, which I'm a little bit shocked of on this one, a lot of times there's usually a little protective screen that goes over this that's magnetized to the transducer. I didn't realize that the last one, that I didn't really have that. And that is interesting. A lot of the Chinese mics put a little screen there. I think that would have saved the problem. But also, I don't feel like adding one, because if I did add a screen there, which I could, I don't know if that's going to change the sound of this mic. And I'm going to be respectful to the people that made this. I'm sure they could have put a protective screen there. All right, there's that screw. Well, it looks like when that ribbon came off, that plate moves pretty easy. So those just kind of fall out. So, okay, that means they're not threaded in. From the bottom. See if I can grab that. My shoulder trying to get this. It's too easy. All right, well, let's just see if we can move this. One. Be a good lad and come out. Hold on. These aren't, well, I mean, this could just be a tight fit in there. I'm just going to use this instead. It looks like they really got it close to that edge there, so I don't know if this is just kind of jammed in there or not, but I'm going to play it safe. And then maybe a little bit, see, that just went through pretty easy. Like I said, I don't think these mics were to be serviced. Come on, motherfucker. This is not made for kids either. I did post that on my thing here. Okay, come on, just smokes. I think this is jamming in there. It's almost like tucked under the magnet. This is gonna be fun to put back. Yeah, that's not even. Yeah, this is literally just being held down. I'm assuming that the way this is working is right the way I got it. So I'm gonna put the right rivet down there. Obviously that's too small to fit in there. So the reason I'm gonna put this one on the back over here, because I wanted to make sure I got that in the rear plate. These were designed obviously with a little bit of a fat head on them, and that's going to hold that down, which is then pushing against the ribbon and holding it down. So as you tighten the bottom, that little cap is holding the plastic down. So that was very interesting. And if you were making this in the factory and you would be going the other reverse of assembly, that probably is a lot easier to work than me going counterintuitive to now trying to undo something that they've probably already had. So let me see if that's not going to come off. Let's see if I can clean this up a little bit, because that foil is not going to be good right there. Out to there. Gotta clean this up. There still is a little bit in there. Hold on. I've got to get that cleaned out. A little better. Go. It's somewhere. It completely disappeared. All right. So I need to take off that other bolt now from the back. And as I'm taking this apart, I'm just thinking to myself, why did I go live? This looks like there it is, right there. I believe this is 1.8 ribbon. Someone was nice enough to pipe in about that, and that seems correct. I'm going to put 2.5 because I think it should be a little bit durable. I do like the way 2.5 sounds, and also the way I corrugate it is, in its own way, I think makes it sound really good. So my reasoning of 2.5 versus 1.8 is the way it's all in the corrugation. I feel like I corrugate it really great, where a 2.5 can sound as good as a 1.8. Pretty good. So does that. Oh, you son of a gun, you. Once again, I don't think this is made to have it be repaired by someone. I'm pretty much, it's like, wham bam, thank you, ma'am. Hey, my ribbon, da. All right, for $65.95, we'll send you out a new transducer, and then you get it in the mail, and you're totally stoked. You saw it in, and there you go. You're back in business. So at the end of the day, as long as your studio is running and you can record, and you've gotten your new ribbon mic transducer in, I guess that's win-win. Now, what I'm offering to this person that is letting me do this is the skill set of the ribbon, and I think it makes a difference. I don't know if this is going to really make a difference though. Here, it's a little bit tough, and all these problems I'm having getting it off are going to come back and haunt me when I have to then put them all back in. See that it freely goes, but it gets snagged. Come on. One I'm just having problems with. Holy moly. I do this kind of as I'm fearless a little bit, and I have confidence that I will get this done. Worst scenario is something happens in this that like last time I was taking these apart, my wrenches would not fit the size of these little bolts. Then I don't want to break that either. Just for this, I feel more confident. Those ones I was using one of my favorite tweezers. I don't want to take a chance of bending them. Holy cows, Batman. All right, so that's kind of stuck in there, which I'm just going to leave it like that. I know this is a bolt that is on the bottom side right now. So we got a little bit of foil coming out here. I do need to get that remaining foil and clean it up. There is a little bit right there. That is just a mess, obviously, for my hands right now, trying to get that cleaned up. I don't want this right here. Come on. All right, now what I'm gonna do is clean the mic just a hair. I just wanna make sure that even though it's a tight fit right there, I don't have any issues with a little piece of foil being anywhere in there. Now, there is some right there that I just cleaned off, and that's why I'm doing this. You can see that's right there. I'm gonna flip it around. I need to make sure that that really is clean. I don't want any pieces of foil. There it is, come on, motherfucker. I don't care if it's underneath it, but I don't want it on that little strip right there, because that is what needs to make contact for the microphone. Okay, let me see here. People are saying some stuff. Vox, thoughts on immigration? Holy moly. I don't think this is really the platform to discuss that. I am Latino and I live in Los Angeles. I'm born and raised in the U.S. And the only thing I will say that as of about a week ago, I now travel around California and Los Angeles with a copy of my passport and a copy of my birth certificate. That's all I'm going to say on that subject, because I did a video more on my Instagram about what it is like to live in Los Angeles under these conditions, where my studio is located in a very predominant Latino neighborhood. So my whole family is, at least on my side, it's third generation. But I have a lot of friends, and my wife is Filipino, who is a U.S. citizen, gratefully now. So all these subject matters and things can be interpreted in different ways, but depending absolutely where you live, that is the debate of the conversation. But you know, when you're at the dinner table, you don't talk politics. What was the other one? I forget. But anyways, yeah, this is not the place that we're going to start talking about that, because I just gave you enough. I answered your question respectively. But I don't think it really matters at this point. Hopefully life still goes on. Everybody's can make the best of their situation. I am a Latino producer in Los Angeles. I love making records with culturally diverse people, and they cover all genres, genders, and what would be the other words? Versatile people, different people. So we're gonna work on ribbon mics. Thank you for even asking about that. Okay. I know. Vox, you are, Vox now. You're a troublemaker. What are you doing? I'm just sitting here trying to work on this ribbon, and you are inserting, literally, pun intended, weird comments that don't really matter to this moment. I'm trying to get this done. I want to do a really good job. I'm taking the time out of my day to do this respectively. There are plenty of other places we can babble about these things, and you'll probably get a little bit more rise out of some different people. And with me, I'm looking at, there's only a few people watching this right now. So, I mean, I don't know. I think there's bigger forms. Go to a CNN poll or something and write in there, you'll get 1,000 people riled up. I think that would be actually more of a, okay, I see that. I see you. There's a little piece in there. All right. Oh, I got that one out. That is hidden behind it. Where are you? All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for it. I'm really making these videos with the idea that these aren't meant to be like I'm trying to go viral with these. If this one of these went viral, there's something definitely wrong then with the United States and the world. Okay, we can put that out there in the world. That is not going to happen. This is for the nitty gritty, for the true recording enthusiast or someone that's trying to figure out why do people love ribbons and why have they been made since the 1930s and 40s and why does every fucking great studio in the world have a cool set of a handful of great ribbons, probably Royers, AEAs, Coles, and RCAs. So that brings us to this, a Bumblebee for the working class. All right. So I think that looks good enough to start working on. I've disassembled these. I know where these, this is the back plate. Um, this is the front plate. I've already did one already and it was really difficult to work on. I need to make sure that when I lay this ribbon in that I can actually have a little bit of wiggle room to work on it. So what I'm going to do is just kind of keep half the mic, not half, just the tip of the mic in here so it kind of keeps the mic like a boat straight. If I take it out of here, it's going to end up leaning down. The problem with that is when I put the alcohol inside the transducer to put the ribbon in, I do not want the alcohol to drip onto the magnet. If that happens, when you go to lay your ribbon in, it just sticks to the side and you're like, oh, fuck. Now either the ribbon gets ruined or you have to wait till it dries. I don't want to deal with either one of those. For this already. Come on. Now, I did this 2 days ago, and I don't know if I stretched it or not. So I'm going to do that just as a safeguard. Once again, that problem with that ribbon in there, that it was too flexible. And once it's already installed, you're not going to be able to tighten that up again without taking it apart. So I don't want to do this twice. I don't want to install it and have it be, and have an issue with being slack again, because then what did I just do? I just took out a ribbon that's slack and I'm going to add another one? No, I don't think so. Okay. And you can't see this, but oh shoot. Hey. The fucker. Hey, this channel isn't for children. So these are little wooden miniature. When I first started making ribbon mics, that's what they recommended for it. I like plastic tweezers, but I broke all mine. So I got one left. Son of a gun. Hold on. I'm not looking at you. Son of a gun, really? I don't tear it. Whew. It's always scary doing that, but you gotta do it. You cannot install a ribbon if you've not released the tension after corrugation. That is just a waste of your time and a waste of making the microphone not sound good. Okay, here comes the fun part. Now we're gonna put the ribbon inside there. So I'm gonna put alcohol here, good amount. I don't mind if it's dripping around, it's gonna evaporate anyways. And then I'm gonna put it here, the same thing, I don't care. Now I'm gonna install this ribbon. I'm asking the ribbon gods to look upon me kindly and give me the strength to install this correctly. Oh, shit. Okay, that was a dance. But I'm not out yet. As you can tell, that does not look pretty. But let's see if we can make you pretty. I know I'm cussing at you, Ribbon, but just play good for Daddy right now. Okay, let's see if I can get some trick out of this one. Wow, that's great. Holy smokes, that was tough. I think it's crooked on this side. I've got to straighten it out, which is like that whole thing of like you escape prison and then you got to go back in again. Son of a bitch, really? You're going back in for your toothbrush? Yep. And also I want to make quality work, so I have to be fearless. Okay, that looks pretty darn good. God, I hate to touch this one, but I have to. I just want to get a little bit more tension out of this. Son of a bitch. I know you can't tell, but I just got to do this right. It's got to be good. Oh, shoot. Okay. Holy smokes. Wow. All right, let's see what people are saying. Who's saying what? Plus, we would be comfortable recording it. Oh, thank you. That's very nice of you. About recording at my studio, Man Network. You think you're going to get that flimsy plate back in without fucking up the ribbon a bunch of times? I actually lucked out and I haven't done that. But that is always in the back of my mind. Mark, would a pointed cotton swab work better? Sometimes. But when these are only going to work a few times, and I really wanted to just wet a larger surface. If I was working on maybe RCA 77s all the time or 160s, I think the pointed ones would be better than not. But what I do is, I know I didn't sew up, is a lot of times when I dip it in there, I'll do kind of this to it. Just kind of, I do a little bit. This one's getting worn out. I'm going to have to replace it. But I think I do that instinctively. Oh, see, Colby, hold up. I'm not a tech guy. What are you doing? I'm replacing a ribbon in this microphone. That chrome center part is a thin piece of foil. They come in sheets that I cut like this one right there. I'll just show you this, Colby. Thin ribbon is what's inside of a ribbon mic, and I've corrugated this, and that is what I put in there. And that is how a microphone works, ribbon mics. 2.5 is probably the thickest you can buy that you can get away with. I've heard about some Russian octavas that had maybe even 3 or 4 in them. But there is something to be said about the corrugation. Royer uses a thicker ribbon, but they corrugate it so good that works in their favor. So in my own theory of ribbon mics, it's processing this ribbon, which has the durability of a Royer, but gives you the sound of a thinner ribbon, which is why I don't use 1.8, because if I do that process, it makes it a lot thinner. It's not going to be durable, and eventually I may even, I can do them. This probably had 1.8 in it, but I'm actually, through my corrugation, of making this closer to a 1.8 after I've corrugated it. And like I said, this has a 2.5, but the Coles microphone that I just did a while ago had a 0.6. So if this is 2.5, corrugating a 0.6 is like corrugating air, and it's insane. But here's the thing. In the United States, I think there's only a handful of people that can do that really good. And I can tell you right now, I am one of the guys that can do it really good. So even though I don't have a repair shop, even though I'm only, you can only find me here, I spend a lot of time learning about ribbons that I can now cut Coles with confidence and replace Cole ribbons. And they usually only get done in Europe. In Europe, there's probably a few more people, but out here in the United States, there's about 3 or 4 reputable people that I would trust with my Coles microphone. And even though I'm not in that Rolodex, if you know me in California and you're watching me here and you have a pair of Coles, I can do them for you as good as the best. And I pride myself on working with ribbons. So that looks really good. So I'm going to take this out of review because I have a light above me. And I want to check the ribbon in the light to make sure I do have it centered, because you can't tell even looking down at it. You have to put a silhouette under the back. Yes, that is pretty goddamn good. And once again, I really lucked out. But you saw how I almost destroyed the mic with that screw bolt. And I'm not doing it to add tension and make it seem like, oh, watch to the end of the video because I may fuck it up. I may fuck this up, just generally speaking. But the good news is, this is what I do. I'll just cut another ribbon. You've learned from your mistakes, and hopefully you won't make them twice. So now here's the issue I'm going to have. I do not like the way this plate has to hold down the ribbon, but it also needs to be... So once I put the plate in, lose a bolt. Okay. Once I put this little plastic plate to hold the ribbon down, I need to then lock it in with this bolt, and then on the rear side put this small, so these get locked together, and that's going to hold that plate down. I'm not really into that idea of doing that. Kohl's have that, but the Kohl's bracket right there is totally made to just drop in. It's not going to move. It's totally like surgically done to be perfect, and you don't have any issues with it. But this is a little bit of a bitch. So I'm going to see if I can insert them already. I still have to put the screws on the back, but I'm going to focus in on this back clamp. Oh man, tell me you're not going to do that, son of a bitch. Okay, so what I don't, these bolts will fly off and go right into that ribbon mic. So I have to really be careful. Well, I was considering on possibly putting a little piece of tape to hold these together. Oh, yep. You're thinking, man, Network, you're thinking like me. I think that's what I'm going to do. So I need some tape. We got some trusted packing tape, which works really good. I can remove it. So I'm going to cut a little piece to hold that together. And once again, when this was made in the factory, if you're doing it, reverse building it, I don't know, when they put this together, I think that just drops into this transducer. So they could have done that outside without all this stuff, and maybe it was a lot easier. Hold on a second, I'm just cutting a little piece of tape. Here. Satisfaction of not losing these. Do it either. That's gonna have to do for right now. So all I've done is just put a little piece of tape to hold that in so they don't really come apart. Let me get my work area tidied up. Hold on 1 second. We're all thinking the same. So if you are sticking around here, your thoughts and any ideas are absolutely welcome. I don't want this screw to fly off because, like you saw it last time, it just destroyed the ribbon, and that is going to be a heartbreak. I need to make sure when I put these in, they're somewhat aligned with these holes. Do it. Damn. This area right here makes it, I was thinking about coming in this way to drop it in, but that is not going to permit me. It's so tight right there. My razor blade was just laying around. I'm going to put this in my shot glass. And speaking of shots, I'm completely drenched because I have to turn off the AC to do this and the fans. So let's take a cold shot of water And I'm gonna do this. People always ask me, what's the big deal? You're just gonna that's all you're doing? You're just replacing the ribbon? Yeah, motherfucker. It's the ribbon that makes them sound great. That's why Kohl's are a son of a bitch to work on, because they use the thinnest ribbons in the world. Okay, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go 1 bolt. Putting 2 in there is a little bit hairy with this one. This one is loose. I'm gonna set this one right here. I'm gonna put in 1 bolt first, because it's gonna be a lot. Oh fuck! I can feel it running towards the magnet. Son of a bitch. Hold on. At least stir it in. Blocked. Okay. 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 The bolts kind of go through to the bottom, and come on, that motherfucker. I don't know how I can avoid not doing this. Holy cows, now I gotta get these guys in the back without flying off and going into the ribbon. Okay, I already know what I'm... Oh. I don't want to do this. Because if that ribbon comes undone, it's going to stick to that ruined them, but I need to be safe. I'm out. Hold on, everyone. Panic time. I'm going to lie down. I need to see what I'm doing here. Let's do this one first. Sorry about my silence, but I'm fucking tripping right now. Very small. Holy smokes, let's go this guy. Okay, I'll take it. Oh my god, that was crazy. Oh wow, I did it. Holy smokes. You know what? I'm using the tape on the back. Um, the biggest issue I have with putting the tape across the back side of this, because if that comes undone and the ribbon slacks and it hits the tape, I basically then ruined it again. So it's kind of like a lose-lose any way you go about it, but I had to make sure it worked. So what I need to do now is, before I do the other side, I'm confident I have that locked in. I need to now reset the alcohol on this side. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna move it because I think it's slightly twisted now that I've twerked it over there. So I'm gonna release this a little bit. Shannon, you mofo. Shannon always, man, thank you. I'm grateful. Thank you for enjoying this. He just hooked me up with $5. That means a lot. Now, here's a funny thing. I am monetized here. If I do these little tutorial videos, that's all I really care about, really, um, through the month, I can get close to $100. They don't pay you unless they give you, unless you can get over $100. For me personally, that means I can go to Trader Joe's or Ralph's and I buy some water. I buy some snacks to eat here at the studio while I work. And it really means a lot to me that I get to do what I love and make a little money doing it. So, Shannon, here's the deal. I was at $99.64, and I'm going to get paid in August. If I can hit that mark of 100, and your $5 just took me over the 100, which means I get paid in now August. And believe me, when I go to the store to buy my bottled water, my little Topo Chico, that was almost solely done on your kindness. So thank you. Um, if you hit the thanks underneath the description, you can send me some coffee money. You can send whatever you want. I don't feel comfortable asking for more than a cup of coffee because I'm actually hoping that people will send me their microphones. And this is why I do the videos, because I really want to help out studios. And I want to help them upgrade their microphones. So this microphone is a kit microphone someone bought, and they probably paid a few $100 for it. It was done, I think these are made of like Lithuania or somewhere like that, and they come a certain way with a. They're very. I mean, this looks professionally made, but the ribbons would be considered like mid point, which means the microphones that are really, really, really expensive. The care that they do in installing the ribbons, I think, has everything to do with it. Let's see, Mr. Johnson, I'm about to assemble my first AI ribbon motor. Anyone have any tips for corrugating 1.8 foil? I tried to test cut crimp, and the foil didn't seem to want to hold the crimp very well. Well, I think you have to look at your corrugating machine. Um, okay. Um, when you corrugate it, if the, let me show you mine. Where is it behind me? Where is it at? Where is it at? Oh. They sell these all over the internet. I actually, these cogs that I put in it aren't the ones that it came with. These ones I made, they're different, but I'm just using it because I like this style. That's pretty heavy. And if you were to put your foil into that, um, I don't, here's the other thing. I don't know what kind of foil you got. If it's not good foil, it's kind of like this plastic foil. It doesn't really work. If you got high grade aluminum, putting it through a corrugator like these ones, it does work. There's a bunch of them. I mean, there's all kinds of different styles of them. Um, I think that, but here's the truth. Um, yeah, that's a good one. I don't have any of those foils right now, but I have definitely bought those, and I think you're okay. If it's not holding the corrugation, I'm not sure what's happening of what you got and what they have in there. Um, it's hard to cut foil, and grab some regular Reynolds foil and practice cutting that and working with that. That's what I did for a lot. I was so stupid. I made my first ribbons were just normal foil from like that you would use for your house. I'm not gonna say this guy's name. There's a very one. It's so weird to say this, but one of the best ribbon makers in the country. I was on the point of being really humbled, and I was honored that he would do a mic for me. And even though I specialize in microphones like these, Bugman, what's up? Even though I specialize in buy 160s and making the ribbon, I wanted him to do it because he had told me that he has um, old stock 160 ribbons. And this is one of those 160s that were like Jimmy Page era, Jimi Hendrix. So I sent it to him, and it fucking sucked. And I was like, what the fuck? This does not sound good. And when I opened it up, the foil that he put inside, it was like cupcake cup foil. It was terrible. I didn't know if he was fucking with me. I didn't know if he was just screwing with me. Um, I was just really bummed out. And he put some kind of cloth above the ribbon to stop the sound. And even in all my years of opening up a Buyer 160, there is no cloth, there's no silk in front of the ribbon. It is screen, bulb, kind of this cap screen, and then the corrugation is really, really durable. So I was just kind of blown away, and I never spoke to that guy again. And it's funny, he never contacted me again. And I don't know if that was, to me, that was really mean. I was a really enthusiast. I was starting to do, it was my first mics or working on 160s. I wanted one of the best guys in the country to redo my 160 so then I could use that as kind of my point man. Whenever I do modifications, I could then use that as a standard. Okay, this one has been ribboned by one of the best guys in the country. Let's see how I can do my ribbons. And when I opened it up to find out it was taped weird, there was a cloth above the top, and the aluminum foil was, I swear to God, was like a cupcake foil. I was just kind of blown away. Maybe that's his secret of making a durable foil. I don't know. But for me, for him knowing that I could rip that mic apart and look at it and know what he did, and to find out it had cloth on top and shitty glue, I almost felt like, I think it was his way of being a little jealous of me and just kind of sent me a big fuck you. And I never heard about, he never even asked me what I thought of the mic, which means that he was just like, kind of like, and I paid like, I'm not even lying, it was like $300 to have him do this mod that he told me he was going to put real old stock 160 ribbons in. And to this day, I've never spoken with that guy again. And I just look at it as like lesson learned on my end. I don't know why he felt threatened by me, that he had to screw up my mic and make me pay for it. Anyways, back to Topo Chico. And thank you, Shannon. Shannon just kicked me over. And Shannon's the guy, everyone. So don't think that you're going to be getting all sweet on him. Oh, man. All right. So I've done half this job. I'm not out of the wood yet. Okay, so knowing that I'm going to have an issue with that backside, I'm just going to cut a piece of tape that I'm going to cover the backside of the ribbon. I know that guy fucking just blew my mind, and he's still legit as fuck. I mean, that is one of the best guys in the country. It's not Cole. I love fucking Cole, man. That guy is my homie forever. But I cannot believe that he knows that I pride myself in how good I cut 160s. And I went to him strictly because he had old stock, real old 160 ribbons he was going to install in it. And then to come to find out, it had cupcake foil with weird cloth. I did not ask him, hey, dude, can you give me like your swerve on this? I don't care what you do. Now, that's different. If he is the best, and I told him, hey, give me your swerve on these mics. Do whatever you want. He could put fucking gorilla hair in there. I don't care. Bugman, dude. Man, I gotta say, Bugman's music is sick. Look I got $4. I'm over the top. I'm literally over the top. And yeah, I wish In some aspects, I would have said that, but it was and I paid more money to have real 160 ribbons put in it. Have him use his expertise. Now, if you're watching me doing this, is because I just saw these screws. Fuck. I don't want this tape to fucking. Oh, don't stick to the ribbon. Don't. Oh, you son of a bitch. Oh my god, I'm just. Let's go this way. Do not want this to stick to the ribbon, or I just fucking ruined it. But I'm doing this because if you just saw me when I put this mic together, that screw flew right into the back of that mic and I ruined it. So now that I've done that as a safeguard, holy smokes, I gotta then now do what I did earlier and install these plates with these really annoying screws back in there. So last time it was in my best interest to do them one at a time, so I'm gonna do that. Thank you, Bugman. Check out his music. Dude, your record sounds so fucking good, man. He's a buddy of mine on Instagram, and he's a great dude in that world. Hold on. I need to move this because I have a feeling this is going to be a son of a bitch. So I'm going to put in one at a time because last time I tried to do this, the screw flew off. And I don't want this plastic to fly into the ribbon either. Oh, shit, come on, take. Here. I think last time I did it with the tweezers. These are really difficult to do because these are kits. And once again, the disclaimer is I don't think they made these to be serviced. I think if you get this mic and you buy it and you blow it, that is the charm of this company, is they just send you another transducer. Oh, yeah. Okay, so now that that's in, I'm going to hold it tight. Flip it over. Now I've got to put these screws on it, or back on it. Okay, I'm going to flip this kind of up. And like I said, that I'm not saying that in a negative way either. This company is offering people, like, go ahead and blow our fucking mic. Don't worry about it. We're going to send you the transducer and you're going to get a new one. That is not the case with most fucking mics of the world. If you have one of those nice big companies, the nice companies, if you get one of their microphones, it's weeks or months to do it. Now my only disclaimer is I just went through a bunch of hell with my own ribbons because the building I was in sold, and that really fucked me up because, see, it just flew off. Holy cow. When the building sold, I had no time to find a new spot. I was lucky to find this studio. But if you know about ribbon mics, oh God, did it again. See, that is saving my fucking ass. That would have destroyed my ribbon right there. Oh, shit. Oh, my God. Hold on. It just flew out of my hand as I'm fucking talking. Hold on, everyone. Hold on. Hold that thought. There it is. I see it. Thank you. Holy smokes. So I had in December put out a call to all my homies, send me your microphones, I'm gonna work on it. And what happened was immediately I lost my studio and I had no place that I could do these safely and clean. And finally, close to April, I got my new spot working and I had literally 40 of microphones to upgrade, and it was insane that I've gotten now to where I only have, I think, 2 that people have been really sweet enough to be patient with me about that. And I'm proud to, that's why I'm doing these again, because I can with confidence say, like, hey, I'm back at it. Hold on, I don't want that to fall through again. I'm back at it. Don't worry about the tape after. Flying off the magnet. Okay. Whew, I am drenched. What did? Shocking me. Once I get this next bolt on, I'm then going to remove that tape because that tape is really scaring me that the ribbon could stick to the backside. But oh shit, I need to get these screws on again. Okay, that looks good. Please don't stick to the back. Oh, holy smokes. Oh my god. Okay. Wow, that was crazy. So, as far as this mic, the ribbon is done. Let me see what people are saying in there. I can actually now put on my fan. Hold on. Hold that thought. I am so fucking cooking right now. If you know anything about recording studios, this place is airtight. And I had to turn off the AC and the fan so the ribbons wouldn't blow away, and I'm cooking. All right, let me just see what my homies say. Shannon, thank you. Bugman, thank you. Yeah, ding dong foil. Dude, maybe that's the secret. Yeah, it was like ding dong foil, that kind of shit. Maybe you found, maybe instead of buying, like, I spend close to $100 for really high grade aluminum. Just get some, I know you see those videos where guys use gum wrapper, and they sound good. So, I mean, yeah, there's, tomato, but all I know is that when I make these microphones, I want them to sound good for a long time. Mics that are still working, ribbon mics that have original foil in them for 50 years, there's something to be said about good quality foil. Okay, so now that we got this done, these mics didn't come with any kind of screen for protection. I'm assuming that it's all within the body here. So we are technically done with this. I'm going to insert this back in. I believe that is going to be the front side. So we're going to put that on the front right there. There's nothing really sliding this in. I mean, you can go any way with this, but the way it's going to lock in is those holes. Those holes are going to go into these holes. So you got to line them up, which is not a big deal. Okay, let me see here. I already made this crooked. I've got to get these straight. Hold on, everyone. What is it? Oh, it's like, wow, that's giving me a lot of resistance. Shit. Let me see the other side. Okay. So once again, these screws that are holding this in place, they don't look like they're really holding it into this because this hole's bigger. But let's just do what they do. All right. Wow. So that is a re-ribboning of a Bumblebee RM5. Once again, this is going to go in there and lock in. These were a little bit loose when I got them. I'm not sure. You know what? I'm going to do something here. I actually don't like the way that is, because these screws are going to fall out. When I got them, they were loose. But once again, I don't know why. I know you would probably think maybe this is a no-no, but I have some acetone if I do have to remove these again. But I'm going to say for right now, I'm going to put a drop of crazy glue. I do have some thread lock. But it's not, since I moved my studio. The only reason I'm doing that because these are loose. And I remember when I took them out, they were not really in there firm. So I'm just going to do this as a little, hello, you're locked in. I'm going to do that to the other side. And it's only because these are so small. The guy that gets these back, I don't want them. I mean, if you lose these little screws in a studio, it's going to be nearly impossible to find them again. So I'm just going to put a little safeguard of a little bit of crazy glue. Ain't going to hurt anything. And if I had to get those bolts out, just put a little bit of nail polish remover on a Q-tip, put them over the screw, and they'll just come loose. So once again, I'm just trying to preempt a losing of the screw. Okay. I know you're off camera, but I don't want to put the crazy glue above my my little cutting board, because that crazy glue fucks up the board. It makes the it's one of those self-healing boards, and it just makes it useless. So, okay, come on, just catch a thread, catch a break. All right, there it goes. Holy cows. So I just went live. This is a Bumblebee RM6. I know everybody here isn't on my Instagram, but on my Instagram is a live video I did where I did this one, the RM5. And I'll recap. These are both ribbon mics. These are kit mics made out of Europe. Initially, I was skeptical because I thought they were Chinese, but then when I looked at the ribbon's high quality. Literally, that transducer, someone put a lot of thought into it. It's not the way I would have done things, but now that I know it's a kit, and when I first made my first ribbon mic as well, I did a lot of the way that is, the big screws, the bolts, holding it in. I get it. And I will say that the aluminum in this is really good aluminum. And in theory, I'll be testing this to see what is the big difference between the, obviously this is a 2-inch ribbon, this is a 1-inch ribbon, 2-inch 2 magnets, 1-inch 2 magnets. The thickness of this one, the width of the ribbon is 4.50. This measured out close to 4.0. Smaller ribbon, smaller magnets, same technically the body. I don't know what transformers are in this, and these are Bumblebees. Now that I've done these, and I had to go out and buy some proper a ratchet set for this, the reason I did this mic, as opposed to just feeling defeated and not being able to figure out how to do this, and plus that transducer was insane to work on, because I want to have my own ribbon mic company, I feel like I need to walk the walk and talk the talk. I'm going to tell all you guys that I can work on ribbon mics, and I have to be fearlessly working. I've done in one of my videos here, if you look back, I did a Telefunken probably for the 1940s, one of the oldest ribbons in the world. That mic had a labyrinth of a ribbon that sat like on a pin, and I had if you can imagine, these two mics were opened up with just enough room to fit a ribbon between that. It was a wire with a ribbon. I had to insert it, drop it into the mic, and then lock it in. It was insane, and I did it, and the mic sounded awesome. But once again, because I'm probably not going to get another mic like that in my lifetime to work on, I had to step up. Same things with Coles. Coles are, a lot of people don't work on them because the foil's too thin. It's really nasty to work with. And like I said, my buddy here that just mentioned about, he bought a ribbon mic kit, and he's trying to corrugate the foil, and it's not really retaining its form. All these things are just the difficulties of working with ribbons. But if you can be persistent and have patience, and if you watch some of these videos, you will take away things that I've done that show you that will resonate even a year later. When I watched some of the videos on how they make ribbon microphones with Royer and AEA, and my friend Ulf was the first guy I saw his video. Look up how to make a ribbon mic with Hoborec, Hoborec. That's Ulf. When I saw that in like 2019 or 18, whenever I saw that, I thought from watching his video that, hey, I can do that. And here I am 5-6 years later, And I pride myself as being one of the best in the country. And I can say that. I know that for a fact. No one does Bio 160s the way I do them, and that's the truth. And I feel like I'm up there with the guys like Cole Pix, who does constant work on revamping and rebuilding vintage mics, which I don't do. But I am enthusiast about the ribbon changing. So these are kit mics. I left all my information in the description. Hit me up first before you buy a mic. If you're going to buy one of those R144s on Sweetwater, I'll give you my address because they ship it free. And if you're in the United States, you can ship it to me free. And that's a plus. If you live out of the country, it's usually about $70 more for any shipping. So not only the cost of the mic, but you would have to add $70 if you're in Europe. And that's even if you can get it to me. So I don't recommend you sending it from Europe to me. But if you can find a mic in the US, get my P.O. box, buy it, have it shipped to me for free, even those MXLs. I can then repair it and then add $70 to it, and I will ship it to you back to Europe. But don't get me wrong, there are a lot of people in Europe that are really good. There's a few mic companies out there where the guys look like they're real studs when it comes to working on mics. So these are done. Whew. These were very difficult to work on, but I did them. You just saw me. Manny Live. I'm off to the races. Time to join the real world again. Thank you all for supporting, man. I'll see you guys soon, maybe even tomorrow. Let's see, how do I turn this bad boy off?